Good afternoon. Welcome. For new attendees, I'm Marie-Soleil, Client Advantage Manager, which for you means that I manage deployment teams and the help desk. For not new attendees, you get an updated picture today as the previous one was getting a little old. So you have my brand new updated face to go with the Business Central update. In this release, we're once again getting improvements and new features. Many of those were initially submitted to Microsoft as idea. So remember to submit your ideas through the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Ideas portal. If you do submit an idea, let us know. So send us an email so we can share it and upvote it on the portal. Make sure to avoid duplicates. So check if the feature already exists or if it's planned for release or if the idea has already been created on the portal. If it does exist, you can vote it. So when you vote for it, the more votes it gets, the more chances it has of making it to the Microsoft roadmap and releases. We'll now switch to Business Central to go over new features coming with the next version that is already available in your admin center for update. First up, reports. So there are currently 8 new Excel report layouts available in this release. They are these reports, and you see that they are in preview at this moment. These give you more options in creating your own layouts by giving you not only the report itself, but additional data. If the data in those reports come from multiple tables, the report layout will show the data in multiple worksheets in Excel, so it's making it easy for you to see where the data is from in the report. The reports are flexible. You can use them in the way you need. So you can use the reports as is. So use these readily available report layouts. You can use pivot tables to slice and dice data within Excel once you run the reports. You can also use the reports as templates to create your own layouts for the same data. So you can copy them from this report layouts page. Next, you can set deferral codes in sales and purchase journals, which you could do with other transactions, but not those specifically. You can set a deferral code on the sales journals, as is the case here, or purchase journal lines. Those codes you can set up also on the fly directly in the journal and specify descriptions, number of periods, and you can have a variety of methods that you set up in the system. They work the same way as the ones in the general journal does. This is not new, but the journal check fact box gives you issues with data and error message you would be getting as you type information. So as you see, I'm getting one on purpose here because my entry doesn't balance. So you can drill down to look at the issues, and you can also fix the data right away because you see the problems as you type. You can do that instead of relying on errors and on the test report. If you ignore the pane, you will still get error messages when you attempt to post, which I will now. And you'll notice that the error messages are way longer, but the purpose is to guide you in correcting the data. In some cases, you'll get recommendations for an action, and you can just accept the change directly on the page. You can also, if there's a related record, open it from this page. What's newer is if you click on the link, you have a button to share the details of an error. You can copy the error details. You can send the link directly through Teams, so you can share with a colleague and maybe ask for their assistance. Or the favorite button of my help desk team, you can share the details via an email. When you click on that button, You get everything you need to open a support ticket, either with your team internally or with ours. I'm going to slide this over. You get a pre-formatted email with a placeholder to put a description of what's happening and how you got there. So what you clicked on, you can also put a recording and screenshots. And the error details were copied on your clipboard and you can paste them on. This also gives the person who gets the email the direct link to the environment, the company, and the page you were on when you got the error. It saves you a lot of typing and navigating back and forth. I'm going to go back. All right. The next major change is around jobs. They're gone. Welcome to projects. So the name jobs has been disputed, if not argued about, since the NAV days, as many people who work with projects or job, or specifically project accounting, don't expect the word job. So to clarify the nature and purpose of the project accounting features for various types of businesses and companies, job is replaced with project in the user interface across Business Central and also in the documentation. This, as you see, will be rolled out gradually, and you will be able to continue to search for jobs. So as you see here, I see projects. Those are the jobs. The good news is, so this will get some getting used to, but there are a load of new features available with the jobs with this release. First one, you can now archive projects. So under here, actions, functions, archive, you can archive projects manually as you would a sales or purchase document, or you can also set up the archiving to work automatically from the projects setup. So Business Central, with the automatic archiving, it will create a new version of the archive document when you change the status of the project or you delete it, when you print, download, or send a document about the job via email, when you post an invoice also. You can also continue to archive manually should you need, if you make some changes and you want to keep versioning in the archive. The archive versions of the projects can be restored the same as you would for the purchase or sales documents. On the posting tab, we see that we now have a default location code that can be set on a job, as well as a default bin code if you use them. This works similar to the sales and purchase documents, where you assign location to the card itself, and it will roll to the lines. So the location and bin are on the tasks too, and you can change them and update them as needed. So you can set default values to simplify data entry on the project task, the planning lines, the project journal lines, as these values will default as they do with other documents. You now have assembly orders on jobs too. So when you enter an assemble to order item on a project planning line, an assembly order will automatically be created. So this works, again, like sales orders, where the assembly order is created and posted in the background when transactions are posted. So you can save time and data entry, as you no longer have to plan for assemble to stock, to assign quantities to job. You can create assembly orders directly from there, and you can see them by navigating from the project. We're going to use both words today just to get used to the new names. This one will make many people happy. It was highly requested. There is a new field called task billing method, where you can say you're going to bill one customer for that job or multiple customers for one job. So you can set a default task billing method in the project setup or directly, as you're seeing here, on the project card. The projects can be billed to one or multiple customers. When the multiple customers option is selected, you specify the bill to and sell to customers on each project task line. So fields are added so you can specify who you're going to bill for each line. Finally, you can invoice one customer for many jobs. You do that from the sales invoice. So when you create a sales invoice, there is a new function on the lines where you get project planning lines. It will look for project planning lines on any project that is currently billable based off the date and the quantity and the line type in the projects. And it will show them so you can select the ones that you want to invoice. You can select them all, or you can select some from various jobs. You click on OK, and it will insert the lines on one invoice and will attribute the right project codes and actuals and invoicing values to each project. So you can get a consolidated invoice for multiple projects. Okay, the bit why you're here today, because everybody's asking about those. I am going to switch screens here. Copilot features. Copilot is now available in Business Central in all regions. One that we saw before in preview mode, you could draft marketing texts with Copilot. So when you enter your attributes and your descriptions and pictures on items, you can have Copilot create descriptions for you. The initial feature that we saw did not have all these options, though. You had a short description, and you could not modulate the tone, the format, or the emphasis, which you can do now. It will suggest, so I can highlight the elegance of my beautiful table here, my desk, and it will update the description. I can keep the description, I can edit it to then finalize it. I can just discard if I want. I will keep this one because I'm happy with it. And I can then use this description to synchronize to Shopify, for example, or my e-commerce platform if it's a different one. It can be used on brochures if you want to generate them from here, or at least generate the information to be able to create those. So you can have Copilot assist you with the creation of those descriptions. The other nice feature with Copilot that is now available is the bank reconciliation with Copilot assistance. So I have pre-created an example for us here where I have my bank reconciliation. I load in my statement. I have my bank account ledger entries on the other side. What I would typically do at that point is go to matching, match automatically, and have the system find matches. When I do that, it will find 2 lines out of 4, and it will match them. The way it works is it looks strictly at descriptions, the type, and the dates and the amounts, and it will try to do some matches. I will remove them. The option you now have is to reconcile with Copilot. When I click on Reconcile with Copilot, what it does first is use the auto match to do an initial matching process. Then Copilot adds a layer and will further match. As you see here, it can figure out that some entries go together. Those 2 lines were summarized at the bank, and it can find those very easily. So it will make suggestions for the applications. In this case, I have 3 of my 4 lines matched. The last one is banking fees. I did not enter those in Business Central because I do them during my bank reconciliation process. Again, typically what you would do is transfer to General Journal, type in the rest of the entry, post your banking fees to record them. What you can do is use this one, the ones with the little sparkly things, they're Copilot. So by using that option and transferring to GL accounts, not only will it transfer to the GL account, it will look at the description on the entry and will try to find a match for it in the chart of accounts. It will suggest to what account it should be posted against. In this case, it selected banking fees based on the description, which is absolutely correct. We're all aware that this is a presentation and my descriptions are all matching, which is neat, but not always the case in real life. It will attempt to match. If it's not sure and exact, it's still making just a proposal. You can save a suggestion or you can update the proposal if you want and select another account. And then when you save it, it will, quote unquote, remember that the description in your account statement for banking fees goes to these accounts. And then you can have additional descriptions. So it works for fees, but it also works for recurring payments that might go to your accounts that have a very specific description. I am thinking about maybe e-commerce payouts you might be getting or credit card transactions that go automatically and transit through your bank account. So you can save those, and next time it won't have to think about the matching. It will be able to keep it and just send directly to the General Journal. As you see now, my difference has been processed, my bank reconciliation is in balance, and I can post it. It had only 4 entries, so it took me 3 minutes to reconcile my bank. You'll need maybe a little bit more time, but it does save a ton of data entry and helps you match transactions. I can't show it because it's not there yet, but in April, Copilot will be available in preview mode to assist with the analyze mode. That's where you go to, I'm going to go to posted sales invoices, for example, or any list page with data, and you use the analyze mode to create pivot tables. There will be a Copilot icon where you can ask things like, show me vendors by location sorted by their amounts. And then it will create the analysis tab for you. And you can just update it instead of ticking and dragging, dropping to format your data. You remember that you can save those tabs and you can give them names so you can reuse them too. Let's switch back here. All right, there's more. It's like an infomercial at this point. In this version, we're getting sustainability reporting. It lets you collect and report on sustainability activities. You can use sustainability journals, recurring sustainability journals to record data based on the chart of emission accounts. So you can use emission groups, subgroups, formulas to collect data as easily as possible. When you record that data, it creates sustainability entries. So the data is recorded and used for reporting. You can use that for carbon emissions recording, but also other type of emissions or data that you would want or need to record and report on. A simpler Shopify integration and B2B support. So the Shopify connector is improved to ignore blocked items and variants. So right now, when you sync items and variants, you have to manually input a filter to skip those, or else the routine will not work. So now it will skip it. You won't have to remember to filter those out. Other improvement, the projected available balance method for stock sync is not the favorite of many people. So there's a new method. That one is called free inventory, not reserved. And what it does is it will take the current inventory, subtract what's reserved, and will ignore the expected receipts or demand, so you don't have to worry about dates if it's not something you strictly manage. There's also a new control for shipping notifications, so to tell Shopify if it should send notifications or not from the orders that are processed in Business Central. Also, major improvement, the B2B features from Shopify will now be supported in the integration. So we're talking about prices, payment options, buyer and groups, different pricing and discounts, so that you can synchronize those categories and those features in Shopify with Business Central and avoid manual entry. More. You can generate 1099s. That's already there, and that has been there for a while. But with the new release, you'll be able to deliver them to vendors with a routine by email. You'll also be able to submit to the IRS from Business Central through the integration with IRIS, so IRIS, their integration service. The posting previews are updated. There's more information available, including tax and VAT posting dates that are set on entries. You can now set currencies on employee transactions that you make from journals. So when you reimburse expenses, you'll now be able to skip those manual conversions you have to do to convert in your local currency, because now you'll be able to set a currency code directly on the journal lines when you use the employee type. The currency adjustment routine will include the employee entries, and that works exactly like vendors, customers, and bank accounts. The drag and drop feature will work with multiple files. So right now you can drag and drop one at a time. You will be able to grab a bunch and then move them onto the pane in Business Central. That is if you're using the Business Central core, because I know many of you might be using Doc Extender. That will still work the same if you're using that app. There is a new setup for consolidation. It is called Setup Business Unit Currencies. It's a new page, and that gives you more visibility on the exchange rates for consolidation. Right now, you have to do a bit of manipulation and navigate through pages to confirm rates and update information. This page will give you the average last closing rate. You'll be able to look up current rates, change information directly on the page, and there will also be a function to copy value from the previous consolidation run, so that you can easily have that information available if you need it for a run. Finally, there were additional templates available in Power Automate to create approval flows. There are more available, so you get additional ones, but the major improvement there is that in Business Central, the approval user setup page is updated and it is exposed to Power Automate. So the approvers don't need to be defined manually in Power Automate in your flow anymore. You will be able to go and get that information from the approval structure in Business Central. That is a very quick summary and overview of the new features that will be available in the next version of Business Central. If you do have questions, you can put them directly in the chat or in the little pane that says question on your end, and I'll happily answer those. If I can't get to them right now, or if I don't know, because I might not, we'll look up the answer for you and we'll get back to you outside of the session. Several of the features we saw today are either available now with the new version, and some will be available in preview mode. So remember to go and look at the feature management page in Business Central to enable features. If you do that, do it in the sandbox first. Review it, see if you like it. then enable it in production. It will avoid surprises too.